Here's the plan. After weeks of side-by-side testing, 6 back massagers stood out for real relief, smart ergonomics, and reliable heat, counting down from 6 to 1 so the best stays on the hook till the end. Stick around, because the top 2 both surprised even a skeptic with hands-on feel that gets close to human touch. And there's one big difference in control and intensity that might matter more than price.
6. Boriwat back massager with heat. So, the Boriwat looks like a simple pillow, but it's bigger than most, about 15 by 13 inches, so it covers more real estate and hugs the curve of the mid-back nicely when leaning into a chair, which is exactly how it's meant to be used. The shape helps line up the 4 Shiatsu nodes without that awkward hunting for the right angle, and the 2 heating zones warm up quickly without getting too hot, which is nice for longer sessions or sensitive skin days. On paper, it's basic, 3 intensity levels, bidirectional kneading, auto shutoff at 15 minutes, but in practice, it's better than the bargain look suggests. Now, some nuance. The cord is safe and disconnects easily if tugged, good for kids and pets, but it's still a cord. So couch setups might need an extension or a specific seat position to get the lower back exactly right, especially if the backrest sits too high. Also, the 4-node layout can feel a bit pointy in the lower back and less leaning at the right angle, or adding a thin towel between the mesh and skin to soften initial pressure. The upside is quiet operation, seriously quiet, which makes it office-friendly if sitting for hours and slipping in a 15-minute reset without announcing it to the room. Heat is gentle and consistent, nothing dramatic, and it pairs well with the mid-intensity for everyday stiffness, think desk shoulders and weekend yard work, not necessarily chronic knot breaking. 5. OMASSA Shiatsu Back Massage Pillow. The OMASSA wins on versatility. Adjustable strength, bidirectional rotation, 2 heat levels, and a proper 15-minute auto timer, plus a rechargeable configuration on the R7-C that frees it from the outlet and adds a remote for couch night convenience. That remote sounds minor until the massage is mid-session and there's a need to flip direction or nudge intensity without twisting around like a pretzel. Tap, change, done. At roughly 12.6 by 14.5 inches, it's compact enough to travel room to room, with straps for anchoring on a chair when needed. In hand, the bidirectional knead feels smoother than budget pillows, and the 3 intensity settings give meaningful steps instead of pretend speed changes. Mode options also alter patterns, which helps avoid the repetitive same loop fatigue. The heat is noticeable, but not scorching, landing in that keeps tissues pliable zone, especially helpful for traps and the band along the spine before bed. As for battery life, the spec sheet pegs typical runtime near an hour per charge, which is enough for a couple sessions before topping up via the adapter. But here's where the critique comes in. While cordless is great, an hour of runtime can feel short for a family household where multiple people rotate through after dinner. Also, a 3 to 4 hour charge window means planning ahead if daily use is the norm. The unit is about 3.5 pounds, and if used handheld on calves and hamstrings, that weight adds up unless braced on a cushion or bed.
4. Snailax Back Massager. Let me explain why this one is a different beast. Instead of a small pillow, this is the chair pad style, with neck rollers plus a full back track and seat vibration. So yes, more of a mini chair that straps onto a regular seat and turns it into a massage station. The back section uses 4 traveling Shiatsu balls that glide up and down with zone control, upper back, lower back, or full back. And there's spot massage for camping on a knot right where it hurts. Heat comes through the back section to soften the tissues, while the seat adds vibration in a couple intensities to relax hips and thighs after long sits. In practice, the highlight is the coverage and alignment. The S-shaped design supports the natural curve, so the rollers actually follow the spine rather than stabbing at random points. And the detachable intensity flap is clever. Leave it on for softer pressure, remove it for deep tissue days. For posture-sensitive folks, height adjust on the neck nodes can be a game changer if shoulders sit higher or lower than average. Way fewer "it misses my traps" complaints. The heat is soothing, not blasting, which pairs well with the need without overheating the back or leaving it sweaty. And the auto timer keeps sessions at the safe 15-minute mark. Portability? Not as light as a pillow, but still easy enough to carry room to room, and it attaches to most office chairs or recliners without fuss.
3. Aerlang Cordless Neck and Back Massager. Here's what matters: cordless freedom, multi-speed control, and those arm loops that let the forearms pull the massager down and dial in pressure like a pro, so if deep is the goal, this tool delivers. It runs 5 speed settings with direction switching and heat, and the control panel sits right on the unit with a USB-C charge port, no hunting for cables or odd adapters. The build is flexible enough to slide from neck to mid-back to lower back to legs. And yes, it's surprisingly easy to clean off with a wipe after gym days. In use, the knead intensity on higher speeds gets into that break up the stubborn stuff range around shoulder blades and QL. Those are the problem zones for lifters and desk folks. And being cordless, it follows around the house without dragging a cable. Direction reversal keeps tissues from getting irritated, spreading pressure around rather than raking the same fibers, and it's light enough to hold for targeted passes without arm fatigue in the first few minutes. Battery life? Reviewers report long enough sessions that it doesn't feel like babysitting the charge, especially if sticking to the mid-speeds with heat on. One more thing. This style is the closest to a therapist's pull and lean technique because the arm straps let pressure scale from gentle to deep with tiny movements, which is exactly what knotted traps need after laptop marathons. If versatility and mobility are top priorities, Aerlang nails the balance.
2. Brelley Neck and Back Massager. The Brelley sat higher than expected because the rotating head design is tuned to mimic a pro's palm and finger pattern, which sounds like marketing until the glide actually feels less geary and more human. Heat integrates smoothly with the knead, so muscles warm as pressure builds. Great for folks who get that cold, tight band between the shoulders from stress. It's bidirectional, with a layout that keeps coverage even across the upper back without poking at vertebrae, and the pressure curve feels progressive instead of jumpy. In everyday use, it does the all-body circuit well: neck, shoulders, mid-back, calves, feet, without feeling awkward to place, which is not always true for compact pillows. The big win is how it avoids hot spots. The nodes tend to roll past bone rather than stop and grind, and that makes it friendlier for leaner body types or anyone who bruises easily from aggressive massagers. Heat is strong enough to matter in winter stiffness without pushing the too hot line, and the overall tuning leans therapeutic rather than showy. If the choice is between a pure power device and something that feels refined and consistent across different body parts, Brelley makes a strong case for second place, especially for people who want less fiddling and more place it, breathe, let it work sessions.
1. Bob and Brad Back Massager, EZBack. This one took the top spot for a simple reason: consistency across sessions with a feel that's closer to real hands than anything else in this roundup, thanks to flatter, rounded nodes and a pressure profile that ramps without jabbing. The EZBack uses 3D Shiatsu with heat, 3 intensity levels, and bidirectional modes, and the Plus versions add a remote that, honestly, elevates the whole experience because adjustments happen without breaking posture mid-massage. There's a 15-minute auto shutoff, an ergonomic curved shell that's longer than standard pillows for better coverage, and a strap that anchors to chairs so placement stays locked while leaning in. In testing, 2 details stood out. First, the heat is gentle but effective. It doesn't roast, it loosens, and paired with rounded nodes, it keeps the session in the therapeutic zone rather than fight the machine territory. Second, the control scheme is actually usable. Remote toggles modes, intensity, and heat clearly. And the one-button on-unit control still works if the remote's out of reach, so no weird memorization curve or accidental mode switching. A fair note, the non-battery version must stay plugged in, and while the 6-foot cord is decent, some setups might still need an extension for couch distance. Reviewers called out wanting a longer cable, which is valid if outlets are awkwardly placed.
That said, being plug-in only removes battery anxiety and keeps power consistent. No sagging intensity mid-session, which is one reason it feels reliably strong day after day. Bottom line, that's all for today, folks.